third basic skill is observing. Observing is the ability to notice and understand inmate appearances and behavior. Careful observation gives you information that allows you to anticipate inmates' behavior. Careful observation will tell you a lot of what you need to know about inmates, their feelings, and their problems. And this information in turn will allow you to manage inmates more effectively. When practicing this basic skill, you'll be concerned with 4 steps. The first is looking carefully at the inmate's behavior, his appearance, and his environment. You'll be looking for nonverbal clues that tell you what's going on. Based on what you observe in these 3 areas, you'll begin the second step of observing, which is drawing inferences, making educated guesses about the inmate's feelings, energy level, and relationships with staff and other inmates. All of these insights will then help you decide whether a given situation is normal or abnormal for a particular inmate. This is the third step of observing. Deciding if an inmate's changed behavior means trouble or no trouble is the final part of observing. Naturally, because you're in constant and close contact with the inmates you supervise, you'll become familiar with their habits and typical routines. Any deviation from their normal behavior will be a clue to you that something has happened, and based on the severity of the change, you may choose to intervene. But even more importantly, you can determine if the abnormal behavior is a sign of trouble brewing. The skill of observing requires much practice and training. In the beginning, you must notice every movement, facial expression, and attitude of the inmates you supervise. Eventually, you'll spot an irregular behavior and might be able to prevent an incident. Observing is key to superior management techniques. Use it, practice it, and you'll soon notice the changes in your ability to effectively supervise inmates. Now let's hear some thoughts from our panel about observing inmates in a correctional setting.
Well, the key thing when observing inmates is, first off, to be able to know what's normal and what's abnormal behavior, and being able to identify what's out of the ordinary or not normal.
The biggest challenge I find in observing inmates is learning to filter out what the important things are.
The biggest challenge in observing inmates is when you're supervising a large group of inmates, being able to observe everything that's going on.
Now let's take a moment to discuss observing with your instructor. Now let's practice your observing skills. In the following scenario, try to notice all the various interactions. Observe the different pairs of inmates and what's going on. What are the feelings being expressed by Billy? What about his energy level and the others? See how many observations your group can make based on this one practice scenario.
Hawkins will pass on that.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Here comes Freddie Owens. 1 for 8 from the...
Joe, you gonna play your cards or what, man?
Hey, man, I will play these cards when I'm ready. Let me see what I got here first.
Man, somebody stole my picture. One my wife sent me from New Orleans. God, find that picture. Come on, defense. Hey, you, Jones, Carson, you guys see my wife's picture? Oh, relax, Billy. No, I'm sure it's around here somewhere, man. Don't worry. Gotta find that picture. Come on, defense.
Oh, man, we don't know where it's at. Go on, we haven't seen it. Get out of here.
It's cool, man. Relax.
Come on, man, gotta find that picture. Hey, you, Joe, you see my wife's picture? You're always looking at it.
Man, don't even be talking to me.
Nah, Billy, go on, man. What he want with your picture anyways, man? Nobody want that picture, man. Go on. You're getting on my nerves, man. Go on. Go on.
Find that picture.